If we're talking about an individual who is always opening the door, always introducing individuals, always being the one who creates that access or creates that handoff to where that person is making it easier for Lynn to either get that job, easier for Lynn to find that bag, easier for Lynn to get into that event or a restaurant or a concert that she wanted to attend. But what happens when you set up those barriers and you say, I don't necessarily know if I want to continue to provide that to you and be known as the person that provides that to you because now everything is transactional. And so the question that I have for you is this. When you look around your friend group, do they value your relationship or do they value the things that come with being your friend?
Yeah, and I think that's the part that people don't want to sit with because it feels good to be needed. It feels good to be the person that people call, the one that people rely on, the one that can make things happen. That actually becomes part of how you see yourself. But what we don't always ask is, what exactly are they attached to? Is it you or what you consistently provide? And if you're the planner, the connector, the one that opens the door, the one that creates the experience, at what point does that stop being something you enjoy and start becoming the reason you're included? Because those are two very different things. So, from a culture perspective, this isn't about friendship or social dynamics. This is about how roles get assigned, how they get reinforced, and how easily they can turn into expectations that you did not consciously agree to.
You are that person that puts things together. You are also a social person. I know this. And you like to have certain things structured when you're going out. You like to have your itinerary in terms of what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. And it's almost to the point where you don't put in room to just breathe. It's like, no, we need to be here by 2 p.m. Okay, I'll give you a little credit. You may put 5 minutes in to be able to take a little power nap. But let's just say that you're good, which we know you are. You're good at organizing things and people depend on you because you are the person who organizes the activities and organizes and plans the trip. So just what if, instead of them coming to you and saying, Ms. Lynn, we're doing this because you're good at it, because we know you are, what if you stop doing it? How do you think that they would respond to you? Do you think that they would stop inviting you on those trips? Do you think they'd stop asking you to plan the event because it's not really the way you want it and they don't really want to have the structure that you like? So the question I want to ask you, if the group only runs smoothly or things only run smoothly when you are the one who's organizing it, do you consider that a friendship or dependency?
I think this is a terrible example
Why?
because, I love planning, especially social events. Like, I love it and I'm very good at it. So, my parties, my events are great because I'm attention oriented. I make sure that every guest feels welcome. I love doing it. So, if that's the example that you're using and you're asking me, my friends, if I just said I would stop doing it, they would think there was something wrong because they know that I love doing it. Why do I like doing it? I like the organization part of it. I also, part of my love language is giving. And I like to see people experience something that I curated for them. And so, even down to the gift baskets or whatever it is, the things on the table. And I am very intentional with when I give things. For me, I just like it. I like the organization of it. I like meeting people. I like getting everything in order. I like a budget and getting things under budget. I like to bring the pieces together. And then at the end, I like to sit back and watch them enjoy it. So if I stopped doing that, since I've been doing that forever, my friends would think there was something wrong.
Part of that also control?
John, we're not going to continue with the whole theme of this is Lynn in her
No.
therapy session online. Is it also control? I'm actually giving this a little bit of thought because there are people that have planned events before, and I'm trying to think if I've stepped back and let them do it without saying, wow, that's an interesting choice. Have you considered this?
And you haven't is what you're coming
I'm
to.
trying to think. I'm thinking, John. I'm still thinking. I
No,
can't just,
if it takes you
I just told you I had a full lunch. I'm tired. I'm thinking.
if it takes you that long to come up with an example, then chances are you have done it. All right. So we've established that if you are the one who is the organizer and you stop doing it, I've been in situations or have known people that if they stop being the one to make certain things or plan certain things, that sometimes those people don't want to involve them because that's what they saw them as. All they saw them as was the curator of the event. And that's something that you have to be mindful of. You don't want your only attribute that's appreciated by your friends to be Len, the person who is the organizer.
But I have a very small friend group. I don't have
Mm.
a huge, big group of people that I consider friends. I consider people that are outside of my circle people that I know. And I wouldn't be doing things like that for them. So the core group of my friends, they know that I am capable and they appreciate me for other things. They want me to do the parties, the whatever, because first off, the parties are great. And as my shirt says, dope. And they know that I love doing it. And so that's just my skill set. I have a friend that is amazing at aesthetics. She's so creative. And so I would always lean on her to say, hey, what do you think about this? Should we do crystal? Should we do this? Or, she's very good at pairing clothes together. I'm sometimes very monochromatic. And so I will ask her, what should I wear with this? Because that's something that's a skill set of hers. If she stopped giving me advice on that, I would think, okay, I would probably ask her questions. Hey, what's going on? Do you feel like I was taking advantage or do you not feel comfortable in this space anymore? Because I know she loves doing it and she's very good at it. So I don't think that anybody in my immediate friend group just sees me as one dimensional. And that's the only reason why they would invite me to their soirees or to do whatever. People outside of that group, they may want me to do it, but I probably won't extend my energy to helping. I may give them some advice, but I'm not going to be all in because I don't even care about you like that.
So that leads to the second receipt for culture where you're talking about access and providing access or being the plug. If we're talking about an individual who is always opening the door, always introducing individuals, always being the one who creates that access or creates that handoff to where that person is making it easier for Len to either get that job, easier for Len to find that bag, easier for Len to get into that event or a restaurant or a concert that she wanted to attend. What happens when you set up those barriers and you say, I don't necessarily know if I want to continue to provide that to you and be known as the person that provides that to you because now everything is transactional. And so the question that I have for you is this. When you look around your friend group, do they value your relationship or do they value the things that come with being your friend?
I think that maybe we need to speak in theory because again, my friend group is very intentional and
Okay, so
small, and none of them are like that.
okay, so let's
Because
step
let
back.
me just say this though. Let me give you a little bit of grace and space here. So if I did have someone like that only wanted me for what I could give to them, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to think, maybe I've had people like that, but they're not invited into that inner circle. And so if I answer that question with that scenario, then
Do you
I
have
don't extend my
do you,
energy to them.
but do you have relationships that are purely transactional?
Yes.
Okay. And so you value those relationships for the things that they provide for you, not necessarily for that relationship in and of itself. You and I, we've had this running conversation about
Hmm.
different people serving different aspects or functions in your life,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I'm a big proponent of that. You're not. You believe that a person, and correct me if I'm wrong here, should play a variety of roles in your life, correct?
I think that I do have different types of friends. Like I
Okay.
have friends that I would confide. I have one friend that I would confide everything in. There I
Okay.
have one friend that is more superficial and we just talk about whatever, whatever. So I think that they do play different roles in my life, but I said yes to the transactional part. I just don't treat people that way. I don't treat people as transactional. Like I just come over here because I can't sleep at night and thank you for your service. See you around. I just don't do that. That's not how I engage with people. I'm more, and this is probably why my friend group is so small, is because I'm very passionate in everything I do. So if I hate you, I hate hard, I love hard, and I'm just all in. If you're in my group, you're just in my group.
Let me ask you this. If you have friends that set boundaries and that you may want to get access or have access to them at certain times, maybe you're going through something, maybe you just want someone to talk to about whatever. And that person sets up boundaries and they say, I can't speak now. I'm not available now. Can I get back to you in 20, 30 minutes, or can I get back to you tomorrow? Honestly, how do you respond? I know the answer to this.
No, you think you know the answer to this. This is my thing. I think that it's important to have clear communication and set
Mm-hmm.
expectations. So let's just say I have a friend that is never available, or they ignore text, or they ignore phone
Mm-hmm.
calls, or they ignore whatever. They don't set boundaries. Then, I start to think again, where do I want to spend my energy? Do I want to spend my energy with this person, or is my energy best spent pursuing other interests, right? So if they're just there as a fair weathered friend and they only want to be around in the fair weather, then I'm just like, you know what? You have now moved outside the inner circle, and now you are on the outside looking in with opaque windows. You can't see in here. So that's that. If I think that it's important to set expectations with people. And maybe that's just a me thing, because there are a lot of people that are like, I don't care, whatever. I do care. So if you say you're going to do something, you do it, because then it becomes a pattern. And when I start looking at patterns, it becomes an infraction. And you know what happens with infractions? Bad, bad, baby.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is that when boundaries are set with you, it informs the relationship.
Okay, so I love your selective hearing,
No, I'm just
and it
saying.
feeds into a stereotype.
No,
Very good, John.
I'm saying if a person sets boundaries with you and says this, and this, I'm available to talk to you from 4 to 5. Okay. And you're like, okay, you're available to talk to me 4 to 5 is 4, 3, but you're not picking up the phone because I called you because what reason? What
John, are
reason
you
are you not?
going through something right now? Because this seems very specific and ridiculous. Okay, I'm trying to get what is happening here.
I know that you are anal to the point where you will ask if someone is not available at the time that you think they need to be available or that they've said they're going to be available. You take issue with that.
I think that it depends on the person.
Okay.
So if, like I said, my bestie, she and
Mhm.
I, we both have full lives. And sometimes we'll say, hey, can you talk around 2 or whatever? I understand, because we've been friends for a very long, since the 7th grade, that I understand my place with her. She understands her place with me. She understands that things happen, and that there's nothing, if I can't talk to her at 2 o'clock, it's not because, I'm taking advantage, or there's nothing negative about it. There's something that prevented that happening, because we have a lot of trust. We know each other. And so there has to be an extenuating circumstance. So on the other hand, if I know somebody that has been in the past, takes advantage of, doesn't respect my time frame, my boundaries, my resources that are available, then that becomes again a pattern. And so I have to make decisions based on that. If that person continues to operate like their work, their life is more important than mine, then we make decisions, and those decisions are usually not favorable. Well, maybe they are favorable, because whatever's going to happen, we're no longer friends, and I'm okay with that.
You just love cutting people off. I don't
Well,
know.
I don't love cutting people off. I love inviting people in, but the right people in.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not going to just have any riffraff around me. I don't need that. I don't
Let,
need a
let me
cache of
look.
people to be full. I don't need that.
So here's the problem with that. When you say you don't need a cache of people to be full, that means that you're depending upon the people that are in your circle to hold an enormous amount of weight.
You're so funny. Again, you literally don't know me. Do you know I could be Dennis Rodman and marry myself. Like, I love being
Okay.
by myself.
Okay. All right.
I remember when I was, I think 18, 19 years old, I made a deliberate effort or intentional effort to make
Mhm.
sure that I went to movies by myself, that I would go to restaurants by myself. And then when they would say, oh, would you like to sit at a bar? No, I want to sit in the middle of the room. No book, no computer, no phone. I'm going to eat so that I can enjoy my company. I go on 2-3 hour walks in the woods.
Mhm.
There's nobody there. It's just me. And so I enjoy my own company. I enjoy people that
Mhm.
bring positive energy and enlighten my life, because there are times I want to share things with them, but I can fill probably at least 30-40% by myself.
I get that, and I appreciate that. And I think that from the standpoint of being an introvert versus an extrovert, I would not call you. I think you two are a.
Amniovert. Is that what it is when it's the two of them? It's both of them. And this is what I am, that when I'm with a group of people, I can be very extroverty,
Mhm.
but I'm okay being by myself. I'm
Mhm.
just fine with that. If
Okay.
you know what they always say, if you were on a deserted island, what 5 things would you take? I would take a book. I would
Mhm.
take my toothpaste. I would take, I mean,
Why would you need a toothpaste if you're on a diverted island by
because
yourself?
I can't have bad teeth. What if they rescue me and my teeth look all jacked up? Don't be ridiculous, John. I need my toothpaste, and I need Trader Joe's coconut oil, unless I can find some coconut oil.
Why do you need coconut oil on a?
John, again, if I get rescued, can't have bad teeth and terrible skin. John,
Okay.
you need to stay with me. So those are my book, my toothpaste, some coconut oil, some way to do water, like clean water.
Somewhere to
And
clean
what
water.
else do I?
You
What?
want dirty water.
No, you have like a water filtration things, like something that will clean the water.
Okay. How would you find that on a deserted
Well,
island?
I'm bringing it with me, John. They said, what would you take on the island with you? I'm taking these things with me.
How would you clean it though if you have no electricity?
Okay, John, it's a filter thing. Like if I needed to urinate and drink that water, there's this
Mm.
thing that you can use. I don't know what it is, and I hope I never have to find out. But if it will clean the water for you. Why is this hard for you? That's 4. The 5th
Oh,
thing I have to think about, because I don't know if I want a silk eye mask or if I
why,
want,
why would you need a silk eye mask?
because oh my God, I'm getting off the island, John. I can't have wrinkles underneath my eye. What? I don't understand you. This is so weird to me.
Oh, hold on. So,
And I get
so
some
tell me.
shoes
So, okay, so you're on an island that you need shoes because you don't
so
want
I
to
can
walk.
walk and exercise.
Okay. All right. So what are you gonna do at night then?
What do you mean?
What are you
I'm
gonna
going
do
to
at night?
read. If I
You
have
don't
my
have any,
silk
you have
eye
any
mask, I put
electricity.
that on, or maybe I have a leaf that I can
You
put
have no
that on.
electricity. How are you gonna read?
Why do I need? Okay, I'll go to sleep.
Okay.
I'll brush my teeth and go to sleep.
Wow. Okay. Good luck with
This conversation went off the rails. Anyway, let's just say this, John. Bottom
that.
line, that I am fine by myself, and I
Mhm.
don't appreciate people that take advantage of me, that are self-serving and don't respect my time, my energy, my effort. So again, if they say they're going to do something and they don't do it, I feel that's disrespectful. Now, there are a couple of things that I don't like. I don't like liars. I don't like
Mhm.
people that disrespect me, and that's about it.
So here's what I'm hearing when we're talking about the sovereignty deficit, that you're okay being by yourself most of the time.
Not
Right.
most of the time, but
Okay.
I'm quite
Okay.
fine being
So
I've been fine.
you're also okay having a small circle of friends.
Sure. And
Okay.
my
So
friends also know that I will turn into Brandy sometimes and go up in my room and just be off the grid for a week. They're good with that.
okay. And you're okay that your friends do consider you or think about you as the executioner, meaning that the person who can plan things and
That's
execute.
like the killer. Like, yes, I do love that. No, because I think that as friends, you understand who your friends are and what brings them joy and what their love language is. And so just because my love language, for example, isn't pairing fashion things, I'm just not good at that. I know that my girlfriend's love language, that is her love language. And so I will ask her to do that because I know she loves doing that. They know I love planning things. They know I love to put together a project plan for a trip to Savannah. Like they just know I like that. They asked me to do it.
Okay, so this is what I would say, that if your relationships are dependent on you being the one that does all that, then it's not a relationship.
Sure, I wouldn't have them as my friends. I wouldn't even at work. Like I just think that I'm the wrong person to have this conversation, because you know that I'm just okay with
Being
people not
antisocial.
liking me. Fine with this. I have enough like and love for myself for everybody.
So what's the point? Point is the role you consistently play is value people learn to expect from you. Not who you are, not how you show up, the function you perform. And over time, that function becomes the relationship. If you're the one who organizes everything, you don't just become helpful, you become necessary to the experience. And if you're the one who creates access, you don't just become connected, you become a pathway. If you're the one who always shows up, fixes it, and smooths it over, you don't just become reliable, you become the system. Now, once that happens, the relationship stops being about connection and starts being about continuity. Can things still run the same way if you're not doing what you're always done? That's the question you must ask. Because if the answer is no, then what you're not is not in a relationship. It's dependency. And here's the part that matters. Most people don't experience that as pressure. They experience it as part of their identity. I'm the one who holds things together. I'm the one who people count on. I'm the one who makes things happen. But identity is the easiest place to hide unpriced responsibility because you don't question what feels like who you are. Now, you're not deciding to do things. You're expected to do those things. And that's where the shift happens. Some of what you're carrying, you choose. Some of it, you inherited. And some of it only exists because you never stopped doing it. The question is not that you carry it. You've already proven that. The question is, what are you going to keep carrying on purpose? Because the moment you change that, the entire structure around you has to respond. And the mechanism behind that, the reason that shift changes everything, now that's in the main episode. In the main episode, we break down exactly how responsibility gets assigned, how it gets reinforced, and why the person with the most capacity ends up holding the most weight, whether it was theirs to begin with or not. And if you're managing anything, a household, a team, or a business, that has a 30-day implication. Click the link below to find out what we talk about on the main episode. While you're out and about this week, make the time to do something nice for yourself. And while you're at it, take the time to do something nice for someone else. Until next time, we'll talk to you.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for listening and spending your time with us on I Take Your Point. For more unfiltered conversations like this, click the link in the description. Huge thank you to our production team. We couldn't do this without you. Quick disclaimer, the views shared are those of the host and guest and are for informational purposes only, not professional advice. Keep building your own table, take care, and be well.